The White House on Tuesday asserted President Trump would not cut Social Security or Medicare after tech billionaire Elon Musk comments about the need to examine entitlement spending gained traction. Musk, a top Trump advisor leading the effort to overhaul the federal workforce through the Department of Government Efficiency, appeared on Fox Business Network on Monday for a rare television interview, where he noted that most government spending is on entitlements. So the waste and fraud in entitlement spending, which is most of the federal spending, is entitlements. So that's like the big one to eliminate. Musk told former Trump official Larry Kudlow, suggesting it could amount to more than 500 billion in annual savings. Multiple media outlets reported on Musk's comments indicate that Tesla CEO was talking about cutting entitlement programs to reduce government spending. Such a move would trigger significant political backlash, create fodder for Democrats to go on the attack. But the White House pushed back on these reports, arguing Musk was talking only about cutting fraud. The Trump administration will not cut Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid benefits, the White House said in a press release. President Trump himself has said it over and over and over again. The administration also linked to government findings of waste and fraud in entitlement programs, such as the August 2024 report from the Social Security Administration's Office of the Inspector General that found that nearly $72 billion had been improperly paid. Trump has repeatedly said he does not want to cut Medicare or Social Security, but he has said he would seek to get rid of fraud in those programs, which critics argue the president and his allies could use as a pretext to cut benefits. In addition, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office said in a report last week that Republicans can't achieve their goal of slashing $2 trillion in cutting. In addition, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office said in a report last week that Republicans can't achieve their goal of slashing $2 trillion in federal spending over the next decade without cutting Medicaid. So, if I'm being impartial and I'm looking at everyone's favorite billionaires, well, I guess I use that phrase for Trump. I should say everyone's second favorite billionaire, Musk, and his comment. He appeared to be pretty clear cut that the waste and fraud and entitlement spending, which is most of federal spending in entitlements, so that's like the big one to eliminate. Republicans and a lot of conservatives like to call Medicare and Social Security and Medicaid entitlements. So it's not really hard for someone to think that's what he meant. We're going to cut Medicare out of some, misguided attempt to go after fraud and add savings. And the reality is, whatever fraud, like they talk about 72 billion from the Inspector General's report, of improperly paid funds. But the truth is, the U.S., if it cut its military budget by just a fraction, maybe like 25%, possibly even half, it could more than make up for whatever improper funds on Medicaid are being, given to people that are doing the fraud that's being alleged. And Trump, he's really, like, you honestly would think Musk was his vice president. Every time I hear a story about Musk, it's always Trump or someone close to him defending him. Oh, Musk exploded on Rubio at a cabinet meeting. Oh, no, he didn't. They get along well. Oh, Musk is saying that they're going to cut entitlement programs to get out to rid out fraud. Then Trump official. Oh, no, actually, he meant this. God, and I absolutely believe, no question about it, that the way they would go about cutting Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security would be like this. With Trump, we are trying to make sure that people who are actually using these programs are getting their money, and the people who aren't using it are not getting their money. And then after he does some haphazard way of doing this, and innocent people who are qualifying get cut, he goes, well, we still saved money anyway, so it was a victory. Because listen, the number one framing device of Trump's second term so far is executive orders and these like really, what's the way of putting it, smarmy, non-thorough responses to situations, right? So like, oh, if we put in one regulation, we're going to get rid of 10, with no type of understanding of, okay, what is this one for? What does this one do? No semblance of nuance. Oh, here's Musk's email. All federal workers, give me 5 accomplishments, and if you don't reply in 2 days, you will be fired. No attempt at nuance, no understanding that some people don't check their email every day. So it would not surprise me in the slightest bit that Trump, by the, I'd say probably second, it'll be within the first 2 years, because he'll be worried that the Democrats might win the House back and then be able to mess up his regime. But within the first 2 years, you're going to see some attempt to cut Medicare, Social Security, one of those three programs, with the stipulation that we're just trying to go after fraud, we're just trying to go after waste. And God, I'm so sick of Musk. How is it that we've only had Trump back for, like, I accepted on election night, 4 years of nonstop coverage of one of the most, ridiculous politicians of my lifetime. But why is it that this unelected billionaire, who people clearly do not like, just holds all this influence? And of course, he doesn't give a damn if Granny or some disabled person doesn't get their benefits. He's rich. No skin off his bones. It's not even just him. Any member of his family, whether they're elderly or young, will get covered by his money. But a lot of other people who depend on these programs, he couldn't give any less of a crap because he's not affected by it. But this goes back to just how screwed up the U.S. is, because there is a genuine need to get rid of fraud, right? We talk about all the funding that goes to these different overseas conflicts, and of course there are people in these different agencies that do slimy stuff that probably has to do with improperly embezzling funds. But Musk is not equipped, prepared, or desiring to go after them in an effective way, which is why almost all of the shenanigans that he pulls have been cutting and firing regular workers, which I'm sure that's doing real great for the economy. People not having jobs. And then, having his lapdog Trump come out and defend him or make it seem like it's not as bad as we think it is. It's sad. But people voted for this, so I guess we reap what we sow.